Have you ever felt like you were meant for something greater, but no one seems to understand? That feeling of being set apart, of walking a path that's different from everyone else, it's not an accident. What if rejection wasn't the end, but the beginning of something extraordinary? Imagine the moments when everyone walks away, leaving you to face the unknown. What if that's God's way of setting you up for something far bigger than you could ever dream? Loneliness can feel like a burden, but could it actually be a blessing in disguise? When you're called to lead, it often means walking alone. But here's what you need to know: that loneliness isn't a punishment, it's preparation for your destiny. There's something powerful about being called, about being chosen. It's not something everyone can comprehend, especially when you're set apart for a purpose greater than yourself. Being chosen isn't about fame or comfort, it's about the weight that comes with it. It's a weight that many will never have to carry. The chosen ones, those destined for something higher, often walk a lonely path, a path that feels isolating and sometimes even unbearable. When God calls you, He doesn't place you in the middle of a crowd where you can blend in. He doesn't make the journey easy. Instead, He calls you out, sets you apart, and that separation can often feel like isolation. You might feel rejected, like you don't belong, or like you're fighting to find your place in a world that doesn't seem to understand. But here's what I want you to realize: you were never meant to fit in. You were called to lead, and that path is often paved with solitude. The burden of being chosen means that you see things differently. You hear things others don't, and you carry a vision that burns deep within your spirit, a vision others may never truly grasp. You might try to explain your calling, but they'll look at you as though you're speaking a foreign language. You might try to bring them along, but not everyone will want to go. That's where the pain comes in. Because when you're chosen, not only are you separated from the world, you're often separated from the people you love. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. There are times when you felt completely alone. Even in a room full of people, you've been surrounded by friends and family. Yet there's still this emptiness inside. You know deep down that you're meant for something different. But here's the truth: that loneliness isn't a mistake. It's a sign that God is working in you, something He isn't doing in everyone else. When you're chosen, you cannot live like everyone else, think like everyone else, or move like everyone else. It's not that there's something wrong with you, it's that there's something different about you. God has placed something unique inside you that requires separation. It requires focus, discipline, obedience, and a willingness to let go of the need to be understood by everyone around you. Look at the lives of the greatest men and women in history. Moses was raised in Pharaoh's house but wasn't truly one of them. He was called to lead his people, but they rejected him at first. Joseph was given a dream, but his own brothers sold him into slavery. David was anointed as king, yet he was sent back to the field over and over again. The pattern is clear. Before the chosen ones can step into their destiny, they must endure the loneliness that comes with being set apart. That loneliness can break you, humble you, and bring you to your knees. But that breaking is necessary. It's in those moments of isolation that God is preparing you, stripping away everything that doesn't belong on the path He's called you to walk. He removes the relationships that were only meant for a season, the habits that no longer serve your purpose, and the distractions that keep you from hearing His voice. Sometimes, He needs to pull you away from everything and everyone you thought you needed to mold you into the person He's calling you to become. I know it's hard. There are nights when you wonder why God would place such a heavy burden on your shoulders. You think you're not strong enough, and you may even feel like giving up. But I'm here to tell you, you were built for this. You were chosen for this. And if God has called you to it, He will give you the strength to carry it. Loneliness is not the end of your story, it's the beginning. It's the refining fire that purifies your purpose and prepares you for something far greater than you can imagine. So don't fight it, don't resist it, embrace it. When the time comes for you to step into the fullness of your calling, you'll look back and realize that the loneliness wasn't loneliness at all. It was God walking with you, shaping you, preparing you for what's ahead. And when He finally sends you out, you'll be ready to embrace your destiny fully. There's a moment in every journey when you feel the weight of rejection, when it feels like the world has turned its back on you. In that moment, you might not understand the bigger picture. But here's the truth: if you trust God and keep moving forward, You will soon see that every rejection was actually a blessing in disguise. Every no is simply a step toward a bigger yes. Some of you are still clinging to the pain of past rejections. You're haunted by the people who left, by the words they spoke, by the opinions that tried to define your worth. But listen closely. Your value isn't determined by the people who rejected you. Just because someone didn't believe in you doesn't mean your calling is canceled. If God has called you, that's the only confirmation you need. God's choice is your validation. Now, it's time to shift your perspective. Instead of seeing rejection as a loss, start viewing it as God moving in your life. He is closing the doors that need to be closed. He's removing people who cannot go where you're going. He's ensuring that when you step into your destiny, you will be surrounded by the right people, in the right place, at the right time. Even Jesus faced rejection. He was despised, mocked, and ridiculed by the very people he came to save. He was betrayed by his closest followers. And yet, he never allowed that rejection to deter him from fulfilling his purpose. If Jesus had to endure rejection, why would we expect anything different? The greater the calling, the greater the rejection, the higher the purpose, the lonelier the road. Here's what I need you to understand. Rejection is not the end of your story. It is an essential part of your preparation. It refines you, it strengthens you, it shapes you into the person you need to be. When the time comes for you to step into the place God has been leading you, you will look back and see that every rejection was simply God saying, I have something better for you. When you face rejection, don't cry over it, don't beg for acceptance, stand tall, hold your head high, and remember, you were never meant to fit in, you were meant to stand out. God is using every rejection to push you closer to your purpose. At some point in life, you will realize that before God elevates you, He first allows you to be broken. This isn't the kind of breaking that destroys you. It's the kind that strips away everything that isn't meant to go with you into your next season. God never promotes without preparation, and preparation always involves pain. Some people think that being chosen means an easy road, a life without struggle. But if you look at the lives of anyone God has used, you will see a pattern. Before the elevation, there's isolation. Before the breakthrough, there's heartbreak. Before the crown, there's a crushing. In that crushing, it will feel like everything is falling apart. The things you thought were secure will be taken from you, and you'll wonder why God is allowing such pain when all you've ever done is try to follow Him. But here's the thing about being chosen. It means going through what others won't. You are being prepared for something others can't handle. When God has a high calling on your life, He can't afford to let you walk into it unprepared. He can't let you carry pride, bitterness, unforgiveness, or dependency on others. That's why He allows the breaking, not because He's cruel, but because He knows the greatness that lies ahead for you. He is preparing you for something too significant for you to carry who you are right now. Take David, for example. He was anointed as king when he was just a young man. But before he ever sat on the throne, he had to run for his life, hide in caves, and be betrayed by those he once fought for. He was already chosen, but he wasn't ready. He had the anointing, but he still needed the process, and that process was painful. Some of you are in that very process right now. You're in the middle of your breaking, and you don't understand why. You're watching doors close, relationships fall apart, and the things you've prayed for seem to be slipping through your fingers. You may be asking, why me? Why now? The answer is simple. God is making you into who you were always meant to be. Gold is refined in fire. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Olive oil only flows when the olive is crushed. The dreams He's placed in you, the purpose He's woven into your life, the strength He's built inside you, all of it has to be revealed through the breaking. And it cannot happen when you're comfortable. It can't happen when everything is easy. It happens when you're on your knees, when you have nothing left but God, when every earthly thing has failed you, and the only thing you have to hold on to is His word. You might not see it now, but one day you'll look back and thank Him for the breaking. Every tear, every heartbreak, every loss, it was never working against you, it was working for you. What you thought was rejection was actually protection. What you thought was suffering was preparation. What you thought was the end was actually the beginning of who God was shaping you to be. So don't resist the process. Don't rush the healing. Let God do what he needs to do. Let him strip away what no longer serves you. Let him remove the distractions, the attachments, and the things that are keeping you from stepping fully into your calling. Yes, it will hurt. Yes, it will feel unfair. But when he's finished, you'll be stronger, wiser, and unshakable. When God sets you apart, he doesn't always make it obvious. There are no grand signs or wonders that make others stop in their tracks. Instead, he does something far more subtle, something more powerful. He makes you different. For a long time, you may not even understand it yourself. You might feel like you don't quite fit in. You could be surrounded by people, yet still feel like you're walking a different path. Opportunities come your way, but something inside you tells you they're not the right ones. Relationships start but seem to fade quickly. And then, at some point, you start asking yourself, why? Why does it feel like I don't belong? Why is my journey so different from everyone else's? The answer is simple. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to be like everyone else. The calling on your life is not like anyone else's. There is something about you that God has set apart for a purpose greater than what you can see right now. That kind of purpose requires a different path, one that many will never understand. There is a weight that comes with being chosen, a loneliness that often accompanies purpose. And if you're not careful, you may start to resent the very thing that makes you special. You might see your uniqueness as a burden instead of a blessing. You may think something is wrong with you because you don't think like others. You don't move like others. And you don't settle like others. But let me tell you this. Being different is not a curse, it's a blessing. It is proof that God's hand is on your life. Evidence that he is calling you to something higher, preparing you for something greater. This process isn't always easy. It means you will lose some people along the way. It means you will experience seasons of isolation where it feels like no one understands you. It means you'll have to walk through doors alone, trusting that if God led you there, he will sustain you. And it also means you'll have to make choices that don't make sense to others, choices that require faith, choices that require sacrifice. Take a look at Moses. He grew up in Pharaoh's palace, surrounded by wealth, power, and privilege. But deep down, he knew he didn't belong. He could have stayed. He could have lived a comfortable life. But he was called to something greater. And that calling led him into the wilderness, a place of isolation. A season where he had nothing but God. Some of you are in that wilderness right now. Some of you feel like you're walking alone. Like everything familiar has been taken from you. You're tempted to think you've missed it, that you've done something wrong. But hear me when I say this. This is not punishment, it's preparation. God is not keeping you apart to harm you. He is setting you apart to prepare you. He's teaching you to depend on him, to trust him when the path isn't clear, to walk by faith even when you can't see what lies ahead. When the time comes for God to reveal what he's been preparing you for, you will look back and realize that every lonely season, every difficult choice, and every moment you felt out of place was necessary. You'll see that he was never ignoring you, never forgetting you. He was setting you apart, shaping you, making sure that when the time came for you to step into your purpose, you would be ready. But here's the thing. When God sets you apart, you become a target. The moment he places a calling on your life, the battle begins. For some of you, that battle started early. It feels like you've had to fight for everything, your peace, your purpose, your very existence. It wasn't that you went looking for the fight came looking for you. You wonder why your life feels like a constant battlefield while others seem to walk an easier road. You've endured loss, rejection, betrayal, and hardship. At times, you may even wonder why God would allow this, especially when you're doing everything you can to follow him. But here's the truth. The attack on your life is proof of the anointing on your life. The enemy doesn't waste time on people who aren't a threat. He doesn't go after those who have no purpose, no calling, no destiny. He comes after the ones who are dangerous to his plans. He targets the ones who have been marked by God for something greater. And that's why the fight has been so intense. Why you've faced things that should have destroyed you. Look at Joseph. God gave him a dream, a vision of who he was meant to become. But before he reached that place, he had to go through the pit. He was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. Everything seemed to be falling apart. But in reality, Everything was falling into place. Every trial, every setback, every painful moment was positioning him for the purpose God had already planned. Some of you are in that place right now. You're in the pit, and you don't understand why. You're looking at your life, at the struggles, the attacks, and wondering how any of it makes sense. But what you don't see is what's happening behind the scenes. Every battle you've fought has been training you for where God is taking you. The struggles that were meant to break you have been building you. The setbacks that were supposed to destroy you have been strengthening you. Because here's the truth. God does not call the untested. He does not place great responsibility in the hands of the unprepared. So he allows the struggle, not to weaken you, but to equip you. He allows the battle, not to defeat you, but to develop you. Because if you are going to carry the weight of the calling he has placed on your life, you need to be strong enough to stand, wise enough to discern, and resilient enough to keep going when everything in you wants to quit. And that is why the enemy has fought you so hard. Because he knows that once you step into who God has called you to be, once you realize the power inside of you, nothing can stop you. There is a power and authority that has been placed inside of you. There is nothing the enemy can do to stop you. He can attack, but he cannot win. He can throw obstacles in your way, but he cannot take away what God has ordained for you. So, don't let the battle make you bitter. Don't let the attacks make you doubt who you are. Every fight, every challenge, every hardship is confirmation that you are walking in purpose. It is proof that you are not ordinary, that you have been set apart. Heaven's hand is on your life. And when you come out on the other side of this, because you will come out, you will be stronger, you will be wiser, and you will be ready for everything God has promised you. Keep fighting, keep standing, because victory is already yours. When God places a calling on your life, He doesn't just prepare a path for you, He prepares you for the path. And that preparation? It's rarely easy, it's rarely what you expect, and it's almost never what you would have chosen for yourself. Being chosen doesn't mean things will come easily. It doesn't mean doors will always open without resistance. It doesn't mean you'll always be understood, accepted, or celebrated. Sometimes being chosen means walking alone. Sometimes it means being rejected by the very people you thought would support you. Sometimes it means enduring storms you never saw coming, battles you never thought you'd have to fight. In those moments, you might start to wonder, am I really called at all? If God had truly chosen you, wouldn't the road be smoother? Wouldn't people see your heart and stand by you? Wouldn't opportunities align, the struggles ease, and the weight lift? But what if I told you that the struggle itself is the evidence? The loneliness you feel, the hardships, they are part of the process. The breaking is the making. Look at David. When the prophet anointed him as king, he was just a young shepherd boy, out in the fields, forgotten by his own family. He wasn't sitting on a throne. He wasn't living in a palace. He wasn't even considered important. And after receiving that anointing, that confirmation that he was chosen, his life didn't get easier, it got harder. He found himself running for his life, hiding in caves, betrayed, misunderstood, facing giants, fighting battles he never thought he'd face. But here's the truth. Every lonely night, every painful moment, every season of uncertainty was shaping him into the king he was meant to be. Some of you are in that same season right now. You feel like you've been cast aside, like you've been overlooked. It seems like the weight of life is pressing down on you. You've been faithful, but doors haven't opened. You've been obedient, but the road has been rough. And now, you're starting to wonder if you have the strength to keep going. Let me remind you, just because you don't see the promise yet doesn't mean it's not coming. Just because you're in the wilderness doesn't mean you're not on the right path. God is not punishing you. He is preparing you. In the silence, He is strengthening you. In the hidden places, He is developing your character. He is teaching you to trust Him when there's nothing else to hold on to. Because when the time comes for you to step into what He's called you to do, you won't just be ready, you'll be unshakable. The truth is, not everyone will understand the process. Some will question it, some will doubt it, some will walk away from you because they don't recognize what's inside of you. But don't let their misunderstanding make you doubt what God has already confirmed. Don't let their rejection make you question your identity. If people leave, let them go. If doors close, trust that they weren't meant for you. If the journey is harder than you expected, Know that it's because what God is building in you is bigger than you ever imagined. The chosen ones will always face the greatest battles. They will always carry the heaviest weight. But they will also walk in the greatest power. Because when you have been tested, when you've been refined by fire, when you've walked through the valley and still kept your faith, nothing can shake you, nothing can break you. So, don't be discouraged by the process. Don't let the struggle make you lose sight of the promise. Keep walking, keep trusting, keep believing, because what God has spoken over your life will not return void. When the time comes, when the preparation is complete, when everything He's been shaping in you is ready, nothing in this world will be able to stop what He has ordained for you.